What is up, guys, and welcome back to part 9 of my F1 2016 career mode. If you've missed the previous 8 episodes of this career mode, then you can click the little card annotation in the top right hand corner of your screens right now to pretty much catch up with everything that's happened over the course of the season so far. We're currently 7th in the standings after a fantastic race at the Azerbaijan Grand Prix, getting our first podium of the season with a bit of luck, a few safety cars, and an excellent strategy call. We managed to get a third position there, which was absolutely fantastic. And that's put us 7th in the championship standings, 43 points, 1 point behind Carlos Sainz. And we head into today's race in Austria with a little bit more confidence than we did after the likes of, Spain and even Canada. Canada wasn't a good race for us, so we're heading into this race with a bit more confidence. Unfortunately, we don't have any R&D points to really expend last time out of the Canadian Grand Prix, nor do we have any to spend at this race, so we're just going to head straight into the practice sessions.
Good morning, welcome to the Red Bull Ring. Let's join the action trackside as the cars are about to appear for today's practice session.
Here we are then, coming around the final corner for the track acclimatization. Down towards the line, we've managed to get a purple score here on the track acclimatization, which was really good. That means we've maximised the amount of R&D points that we can have in the track acclimatization. Then we headed into the tyre management. Now, that one was a little bit trickier because it was just like Azerbaijan. We were spinning up the rear tyres a lot more than we have previously done in the season so far. And unfortunately, we did actually fail that one. Then the rain started to come down, so that was pretty much it for practice 1 because we couldn't do the qualifying comparison because it was going to be drive-through qualifying, so there's no point doing the qualifying run in the wet because it just wouldn't give us any valuable data. So we were down 22nd, a few tenths of a second off Rio Haryanto, which was a little bit disappointing. But then we went into FP2 and went out to do our qualifying sim, and we managed to beat the green target time of a 13th position, which was pretty good, 1:10.4. And then we tried to get the purple lap time, but unfortunately we weren't quick enough. We just kept on getting in the green, which was a little bit disappointing. But we managed to get 10th position in the standings after FP2 and a 1:10.499, which will hopefully be good enough to maybe get us into Q2 in qualifying. But we're just going to have to wait and see as we head into that session right now.
Thanks for joining us on this Saturday afternoon where qualifying is about to start here in Austria. So sit back and enjoy the afternoon session.
Here we are then for the first qualifying session of the day, and now we will be looking to get out of Q1 pretty easily into Q2, whereas getting into Q3 might be a little bit difficult. We have got the car to get into Q3, but, just looking at the practice data, I don't think that it's going to be possible. We'll wait and see as the session goes on, though, so we're going to head out on track and see what we can do. And here we are then, coming round the final corner for our first lap here in qualifying. Down towards the line, DRS open, coming across the line. It's a 1:10.434, exactly the same time that we managed to do in the practice qualifying sim. But unfortunately, no, we're down in 21st position after that, so that's a little bit strange. The AI have really improved, but down across the line once again for our final lap here in qualifying, I believe. And that, unfortunately, is only good enough for 21st position. Still, we did improve just a little bit, but unfortunately, it just was not good enough to jump us out of the drop zone. And here we are on our actual final lap of qualifying, and it doesn't look like it's going to be an improvement at the moment down towards the line, and no, it's not. That means we will be starting on the grid in a very disappointing 21st position. I cannot believe it after the pace that we had in the practice qualifying sim, saying that we should be able to get above 13th position and we could only manage 21st, which is really disappointing. Jolyon Palmer getting through in P11, and there we are, 21st position on the grid and missing out on Q2 by a matter of 2 tenths. 2 tenths was the gap between myself and Jenson Button. That's really disappointing as well. We'll be looking to possibly improve in the race and try and get a few positions at the start. We are set up for straight line speed, so we could get a lot of overtakes on the first lap just due to slipstream alone. So hopefully that will help us. But we're just going to have to wait and see what it really has in store for us as we head over to the race for the Austrian Grand Prix.
Austria, traditional home of many great things. Apple strudel, Mozart, Niki Lauda. Oh, and of course, one of the finest high-speed racetracks on the planet. We're right in the thick of the season now, and the championship battle is hotting up. But if there's any race that stands to rip up the form book, it's this one. The Red Bull Ring then, 700 metres above sea level. This tough circuit may only have 9 corners, but they're fast and they're bumpy. It's a true test for any racing driver. We have 2 DRS zones, and watch out for overtakes into turn 2 as the uphill entry helps those trying to be the last of the late breakers steam up the inside. Anthony Davidson joins me to talk you through the action here today at what is quite an unusual racetrack, wouldn't you say, Ant?
Yeah, it's quite an odd layout around here. The thing about Austria is that it's a harder circuit to master than what really meets the eye. On top of that, it's a low grip surface, and that means that your small mistakes end up being punished, and it's very easy to slide wide into the runoff area and lose a huge chunk of time. Luckily, because it's such a short circuit though, you have plenty of opportunities to perfect the lap.
We're higher on the grid than we expected. Let's see if we can do even better.
It's race day here at the Austrian Grand Prix. After a very, very disappointing qualifying session, we are starting down in 21st place, right at the back of the field, and we will be looking to make as many overtakes as we possibly can as the session goes on. But yeah, starting right down the field, 21st position, it's not a good result. And luckily, though, we are set up for straight line speed, so we should be able to get a couple of guys down the first straight, down towards turn 2, and then down towards turn 3 as well. Then through the corners we might struggle a little bit, but if we can make a lot of positions in the first couple of laps, then we are going to be really, really competitive in this race. Looking at the race strategy for today's race, now we were supposed to start on the soft tyres and go on to the super softs, but I just didn't feel that the tyre wear would last, so I decided to add another stint in there. I was trying to mix up this strategy as well, about seeing what all the different things that we could do, and just switching up the stint. I was hoping to go for a super soft set of tyres at the start, like I did at the Azerbaijan Grand Prix, just in case the safety car comes out early on, then go on to the soft, and then go on to the super soft, but it wasn't allowing me to do that, which was really, really annoying, so we just had to stick with the soft tyres at the beginning, and go to the super softs towards the end of the race. But we just changed this up a little bit, because at the moment that does not look like a good strategy at all. So we just change up a little bit, push the first stop a little bit later on in the race, and then push the second stop later still, which we probably should have gone with the high tyre wear management that was already set up for us. But, you know, it was a little bit of a weird one in the race. But yeah, so we decided to go for soft tyres at the start, super soft set tyres midway through the race, and then another set of super soft tyres towards the end. So I think at the moment I'm probably going to give up any second now. I'm just trying to make it into a one-stop strategy once again, and just think I don't know how I'm going to do it, because it doesn't give you an option. In the end, I'm just like, yeah, we'll just go for the low tyre management, and we'll just change that to a sort of personalised one, because obviously we failed the tyre wear management, so it's a little bit different, I believe, the personalised one, just due to the lap time. So it doesn't actually change the pit stops, it just chooses how long your tyres are predicted to last and your lap times that you're going to be getting. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the race strategy. Let's head into the formation lap. Come on, select the right, there we go. Right, let's head into the formation lap. So strategy took a little bit longer than I was hoping there. You know, just trying out different things with this game, just trying out all the different things you can do, trying out the different strategies, and just sort of exploring, you know, what sort of strategies we can go for during this race. But I think this is a good one, going for a two-stopper. And here we go, getting underway in the formation lap, down in 21st position, and just getting on with our normal procedure, warming up the tyres, weaving from side to side, braking just a little bit later on in the lap. There we go, so just warming up the brakes at the moment, just trying to get some temperature into the car. Just try not to rev the engine too much, because obviously we don't want to overheat the engine as well. But then we're just going to make our way back to the grid and really start this race. Here we are then on the grid for the Austrian Grand Prix. The lights starting to come on. It's 5 red lights. Lights out, and away we go for the Austrian Grand Prix. It's a great start compared to Roman Grosjean, losing the back end just a little bit though, going down in towards turn 1. We've got Felipe Nasr and Rio Haryanto just ahead of us. We go under braking in between these guys, making it 4 wide. We're just going to back out of it. We didn't want to get involved in a 4 wide battle down in towards turn 1, because it's a very, very tight turn 1. And here we go, maximising the straight line speed of our car, using all the slipstream at the moment, pulling over to the right hand side, down in towards turn 2 now, under braking, very late on the brakes, locking up, and just managing to avoid the rear end of the McLaren of Jenson Button. Very, very close there to the McLaren, going side by side with Esteban Gutierrez at the moment, down in 17th right now, so not the best of starts, but now trying to make a bit of ground on Jenson Button. Maybe got the inside of Sergio Perez as well, down in towards turn 3, under braking side by side through this corner, but there we go, just get a good drive out of the corner and up into P14 for the time being. Up next for us is Nico Hulkenberg, and we cut ahead to the start of lap 2. We're right on the back of the Force India drive at the moment, braking a little bit earlier in towards turn 1, try and get a good drive out through turn 1, and there we go, great drive compared to the Force India driver and the Williams of Valtteri Bottas as well. All these guys battling ahead of us, and that's going to be really, really good for us, as we should be easy to get past the Massa's Fernando Alonso nearly pushes us off the track. We get onto the grass. Carlos Sainz giving us a little bit of a barge as well. It's side by side through turn 2, but there we go, managing to get the move done and up into P9 at the moment. Now we're on the back of this train, led by my teammate Jolyon Palmer. He's followed by Felipe Massa at the moment. There's a few guys coming to the pits. That puts us up into P7 at the moment. So within 5 laps, we've managed to go from 21st on the grid up into P7, which is really weird. And then we lose the back end following behind Felipe Massa at the moment as we run down in towards turn 2. Don't think I'll be able to get a move in towards turn 2 on these two guys, but they're going side by side, so I might be able to find something through here. Jolyon Palmer being hung out on the outside. I'm going to have a little look up the inside of my teammate. Now Felipe Massa moving over to the right. I'm just squeezing out Jolyon Palmer, finding a little gap between the two of them, pulling over to the left-hand side, going side by side with Felipe Massa down in towards turn 3. Under braking, it's still side by side between the two of us. Who's going to come out on top? I'm holding it around the outside, but just not going to have enough speed. And now we've got the straight line speed on Felipe Massa, but we're not good through the fast corner. So Felipe Massa might be able to get us back through here around the outside, and there he goes back up into P5. But now we're on the back of him once again on the end of lap 5, starting lap 6, following in the slipstream, following in the DRS, pulling over to the right-hand side, getting the inside line down in towards turn 1. And there we go. Job done on Felipe Massa, moving up into P5 of this race. And up next for us is Daniel Ricciardo, who comes into the pits, as well as Kimi Räikkönen. So not too sure what has happened to Lewis Hamilton in this race. I think he might have come into the pits as well on that lap. And here we go. Nico Rosberg and Sebastian Vettel also coming into the pits. And now we are actually leading this Austrian Grand Prix. I think this is the first time in my whole entire F1 2016 career that I've actually led a race. So we're on board with Daniel Ricciardo. This battle for, I'm not too sure actually what position this is, but Daniel Ricciardo's engine has blown up, and that is him out of this race. So that is the first engine failure of today's race. Very, very disappointing for the Red Bull driver, now on board with the sister team of Toro Rosso. Danny Kvyat following behind me. He's managed to catch up after a very, very long stint that I've had of just sort of running around by myself out in the lead. But Danny Kvyat is now very much on the back of me. Maybe having a look down in towards turn 1. He has a little look, but he thinks better of it going down in towards turn 1. I run it wide onto the curb. That puts Danny Kvyat right to my tail, following it in the slipstream. Pulling over to the left-hand side, going for the move. No, he doesn't. His engine has blown up. There's a second engine failure in the race within a couple of laps, and the F1 gods are definitely in my favour at the moment. They are giving me the race win right now, as we've had the guy who was chasing us down for the race lead has actually blown up, and now Fernando Alonso is right behind me as well. Is his engine gonna blow up as we go through the right-hander of the penultimate corner in towards the final corner now, as we're on board with Kimi Räikkönen going through the final corner? What's going to happen to him? What's happening to Kimi Räikkönen? He's had a front left puncher. That is disaster for Kimi Räikkönen, because he is literally just past the pit lane. A safety car has come out. That is perfect timing for us, because the safety car will come out just before we come into the pits. So we were thinking about maybe coming to pits, whether it was a good idea to come into pits, but we are supposed to be scheduled to come in 2 laps anyway, so I thought it was a perfect time to come into the pits anyway, and not really burn our tyres behind the safety car. And it looks like everyone else is actually coming into pits behind us as well, so we could actually be out right at the front of the pack as well. We could have been actually leading this race right now, despite all the pit stops. We could be leading the race, so we're just going to have to wait and see. Getting held up just a little bit, I think, for a couple of Manors, but are we out in front? So far, so good. There's a Mercedes of Nico Rosberg has also come into pit, so I think we are actually leading this race at the moment. Pit strategy is out of the window right now because of the safety cars, so it all literally restarts from now, because everyone, literally everyone, has come into the pits on this lap just before the safety cars. So race strategy has restarted, and now we are all going to be battling for positions towards the end of the race. So we're currently, in effect, leader of this race. This is absolutely amazing for me at the moment. I get my first podium at the Azerbaijan Grand Prix, and now we are actually leading the race and could be on for our first ever race win in this 2016 season. But I'm not going to get too ahead of myself. There's still 20 laps left to go, and we are now catching up to the safety car for the first time ever on F1 2016. We are the first guy right behind the safety car. This is really, really exciting stuff. So we actually get to hold up the pack towards when the safety car comes in. Here it goes, coming in now. I'm holding up Sergio Perez at the moment. We've got Rio Haryanto in 4th position in this race. He's not lapped. That is a legitimate 4th position, with his teammate Pascal Wehrlein a couple of places behind him as well. So the Manors doing really, really well thanks to this safety car strategy. And yeah, so here we go, getting underway once again, getting on the restart of the race. I get a good jump compared to Sergio Perez. I've literally left him for dead. There's already probably about a second gap between the two of us as we come across the line. And there we go, still in the lead of this Austrian Grand Prix, and it's going really, really well for me at the moment. I'm on the super soft tyres. I've got one more stop left to do in this race as Nico Rosberg is trying to get past Sergio Perez, and he actually does manage to do that as we're now on board with Rio Haryanto, following in the slipstream of Sergio Perez, going for the move on Sergio Perez. Will we see a Manor on the podium in this race? He's going to try it. Rio Haryanto round the outside of turn 2. Can he get the move done? Not quite, as they run down in towards turn 3 now. Rio Haryanto going for the move. He's got the position at the moment. He is currently in P3, going down into turn 3. Can he hang it around the outside? He locks up quite a bit from Rio Haryanto, squeezes out Sergio Perez. Sergio Perez squeezes him out. No, Sergio Perez, that is harsh. You do not do that to Rio Haryanto. He has been dropped down past Sebastian Vettel and now into probably about 5th position behind Fernando Alonso as well. So we're on board with Kimi Räikkönen following behind Fernando Alonso and Jolyon Palmer in this race. Kimi Räikkönen obviously having that punch earlier on. That's why he is so far down the field. Going for the move on Alonso. Now up the inside of Jolyon Palmer. But Jolyon Palmer gets a good drive out of the corner. So Kimi Räikkönen's just going to have to tuck behind my teammate for the time being. Go for the move now. No, his engine has blown up as well. The 3rd engine failure of the race. Wow, these engines are not lasting in this Austrian Grand Prix. And Kimi Räikkönen pulls over to the right-hand side, and that is his race over. As Nico Rosberg is now right on the back of me as we come into the last 10 laps of this race. And Nico Rosberg following behind me, going down in towards the last 2 corners. Will he get it done down the start finish straight? He's going to try it into the penultimate corner, and he's done the move. What a move there from Nico Rosberg into the penultimate corner, up the inside, and there he goes up into the lead of this race. We still have one more pit stop in the race. I think he has another pit stop as well. But we are going to try and follow behind him and maybe try and get a move done down towards turn 3. And here we are following behind Nico Rosberg, looking up just a little bit, but right behind the Mercedes driver at the moment. We've got the DRS open down towards turn 3, following in the slipstream. We're going to move over to the right hand side and possibly go for a move down in towards turn 3, under braking. Nico Rosberg so much better, but in towards the corner. He gets a good drive as well, and there we go. Nico Rosberg, he has got the lead of the race. Unfortunately, we're just going to have to give up on that, but we're going to try and hold on to P2 as the race goes on. We're coming into the pits now for our 2nd pit stop in this race, running it wide onto a little bit of grass there on the left hand side, coming to the pits very, very early under braking into the pit lane. And here we go for our 2nd pit stop in the race. Where is this going to put us out? Because I think there are a lot of guys who still have to make pit stops in this race. So we could come out, maybe down in 9th position, but with the other guys making pit stops, we could jump back up above them and go into maybe about 2nd place once again. So we're just going to have to wait and see how this race goes on. But I think there is a couple of drivers who are also trying to literally just go to the end of the race on their set of tyres that they are on right now. So we're just going to have to be aware of that and sort of see how the race goes on. But we're currently ahead of Rio Haryanto at the moment, and a Mercedes, which I believe is Lewis Hamilton. So yeah, we're currently in P7, 19 runners left in this race, and there is 10 laps left to go of this Austrian Grand Prix. Rio Haryanto doing an amazing job at the moment to be in 8th position. A couple of guys coming into pits at the moment. That puts us up into P5. And up next for us on track is Esteban Gutierrez, who's currently in 4th. I believe he is trying to go till the end of the race as we're on board with Sergio Perez going for a move on Fernando Alonso. Down in towards turn 1. Is his engine going to blow up? Going down in towards turn 1. We're now on board with Fernando Alonso, who loses the back end, hits Perez, and Jenson Button collides into his teammate, ending his race. And Fernando Alonso is out, and Jenson Button has a big amount of front wing damage as well, and that is really slowing up his car. As we now have a Manor approaching, 2 Saubers and a Williams. So are they going to get caught up with Jenson Button as they go down in towards turn 2? Oh, the Manor goes straight into the back of Jenson Button. A lot of front wing damage for him as well, so he's going to be going slowly. 2 Saubers going side by side of Felipe Nasr and Marcus Ericsson. Will they be able to get through? Both these drivers are going side by side on the straight. Nasr gets through. Ericsson doesn't. He loses a big chunk of his front wing. Now we have 3 drivers going slowly. Felipe Massa goes straight through the train. And wow, 3 drivers going very, very slowly in this race after crashing into each other. That is just amazing. What on earth were they doing? But now on board with Jolyon Palmer. Is he going to get caught up with this little collision? No, he doesn't. He just mugs all of them off, moves over to the left-hand side and says, thank you very much, I will take position. And well done to Jolyon Palmer. Can he get into his first ever points of the season? We're just going to have to wait and see how he does at the end of the race. We're on the back of Esteban Gutierrez finally as we move up into 3rd place as Carlos Sainz comes into the pits. And here we go through the right hand. We've got a lot of back markers coming out of the pits. And Rio Haryanto, how has he gone down into 18th position? I think it's because of that collision with Jenson Button. There we go, getting past him very, very easy. Marcus Ericsson as well. We should be able to get past him. And Sebastian Vettel goes for a little move round the outside in towards turn 2, though. We squeeze him out, and we're just going to hold on to P2 for the P3 for the time being. But down in towards turn 3, he's got the slipstream and the DRS. Will he try another move in towards turn 3? I don't think he does. We cut ahead to lap 33 on the back of Esteban Gutierrez. Once again, going down in towards turn 1. We got Sebastian Vettel trying the move into turn 1 on the inside. Is he going to try it up the inside? Yes, he does under brake. And we're going to have to hold it round the outside of turn 1. And there we go, in P3 still in this race and catching up to Esteban Gutierrez. Not too sure who's leading the race at the moment. We are still right on the back of the Haas driver, going through the first fast left-hander in towards the second left-hander. Just having a little look up the inside on the Haas driver, but there's not enough room to go through just of yet. And we are really starting to pick up a train of cars. I mean, we've got Sebastian Vettel right behind us on the faster ultra soft tyres. We've also got Lewis Hamilton on the soft tyres as well, but we know that Mercedes car is very, very quick on any circuit, pretty much. The Mercedes is the quickest car on the game. And here we are right on the back of Esteban Gutierrez. My driver throwing up his hand for some reason as we go down in towards turn 1, side by side with Esteban Gutierrez. And there we go, job done, and up into P2 in this race. Our best position this could be if we can finish in this place at the end of the race. But we've got Gutierrez at the moment holding up Sebastian Vettel. And if he can hold him up for another lap, then that'll be perfect and we can go on to get second place in this race. But we lock up down in towards turn 2. That could allow Sebastian Vettel to catch up, and now he is right on our tails. We come through the next couple of corners to end the penultimate lap of this race. Sebastian Vettel following in the slipstream. Is he going to go for the same move as Nico Rosberg? He's going to go around the outside, whereas Nico Rosberg went up the inside, and Sebastian Vettel a very, very easy move around the outside because of those faster ultra soft, and of course he is in a faster car as well. But now we have to defend from Lewis Hamilton. He is only a couple of seconds behind us on this final lap of the race. We need to really defend against the Mercedes driver because he could get past us and that could be our podium gone. We want to get our second podium of the season. If we can do it, it will be an absolutely fantastic result. So here we are on the final lap of the race. Sebastian Vettel, he has got P2. He is running away with that. There is no chance of us catching up to him with those ultra soft tyres unless they explode on this final lap or he runs into any other problems. No short sign of Lewis Hamilton at the moment as we go through the second fast left-hander. And, okay, there he is. There is Lewis Hamilton. So he's definitely gaining on us. So we go down in towards the final 2 corners at the moment. Where is Lewis Hamilton? Is he going to get the job done on us? He's moving closer and closer as the lap goes on. But down in towards the final corner, I don't think he's going to do it. Here we go, round the final corner, down towards the line. And we have got our 3rd podium in his 2016 season. What a result!
Good job, you did really well. Super driving.
A great win then for the Mercedes team today. Anthony, what do you think made the difference here?
Well, I think the track conditions just really suited their car today. Wind, track temperature, you name it. These cars come alive when the tyres are just at the right temperature. So the more easily you can keep them there, the better your race tends to go. And that's exactly what happened. Their car just looks so comfortable out there.
So as I say that, we can see the drivers coming out now to collect their trophies. It's yet more silverware to take back to their base in Brackley after another excellent Grand Prix.
Wow, our second podium of the season. What a result for us starting 21st on the grid. Having a good strategy called starting on those soft tyres and the safety car really, really helping us out at the end of the day. But Nico Rosberg, he won today's race with Sebastian Vettel in 2nd. We finished in 3rd, our 2nd podium of the season. Lewis Hamilton in 4th. Esteban Gutierrez with a great result, making the one-stop last for him. Finished in 5th with Max Verstappen in 6th. Pascal Wehrlein getting 7th place and 6 points. That's a fantastic result for Manor. My rival at the moment, Carlos Sainz, is in 8th. Well, my championship rival, Carlos Sainz, because Massa is my proper rival. Valtteri Bottas, he's in 9th. And Sergio Perez gets 10th and gets the final championship point. I think he may have actually lost out to Nico Hülkenberg, who had a second time penalty. And then Jolyon Palmer finished in 12th, just missing out on the points as well. So very, very disappointing for him. And then we move down to the guys who did not finish of Kimi Räikkönen, Fernando Alonso, Danny Kvyat and Daniel Ricciardo. 3 of those guys having engine failures. So engine's not really doing too well at today's race. But, I mean, that was a fantastic race. 21st on the grid, straight line speed really helping us out at the start of the race, like I said it would. And yeah, we just had a bit of luck because of the safety car, and the strategy really worked out as well. So it was a fantastic race for us. A few other guys getting it in the way of the leaders. And yeah, it just really, really helped us. Bit of a shame that Rio Haryanto, though, couldn't get on the podium. But, you know, I'm sure he'll get one in the next couple of races. But let's have a look at how this affects us in the drivers' standings. And we have actually moved up into 6th position in the driver's standings. Moved above Carlos Sainz, who is pretty much our championship rival. And yeah, we were 1 point behind him after the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. And now because of that 3rd position, we are now 10 points ahead of him, which is fantastic news. Up next for us in the championship is Kimi Räikkönen, but I don't think I'm going to be really challenging with him unless he has more races like today where he had an engine failure. So unless he has those, then I don't think we will be challenging with Kimi Räikkönen, unfortunately. But Valtteri Bottas, we've got 30 points on him at the moment, so that's fantastic for us in the championship. So it's pretty much, at the moment, a battle between me and Carlos Sainz for 6th position. If results sort of go the same way they're going at the moment, if we start to drop off, then I'm sure Valtteri Bottas, Danny Kvyat, Daniel Ricciardo and Felipe Massa will all come back into it. We're just going down the standings. Julian Palmer's finally jumped up above Rio Haryanto. He's finally not at the bottom of the standings, and Pascal Wehrlein moves up into 18th with 6 points on board, battling with the McLarens at the moment. But, you know, I don't see Manor getting any points in the future unless they really improve their car in the next couple of races. But let's have a look at how this affects us in the constructors' standings. And we have moved up into 5th position. So a great result for Renault. We've moved up into 5th above Williams, who we are currently battling with in the R&D race. So that is pretty good. We are 4 points ahead of them at the moment, which is fantastic news. We've moved away from Sahara Force India by quite a considerable amount of points. And we're actually catching up to Toro Rosso. So Toro Rosso, I'm not too sure whether we will be able to catch up to them because they have Carlos Sainz and Danny Kvyat who get into the points quite a lot. Carlos Sainz seems to be getting into the points every single race and is having a fantastic season. Danny Kvyat getting into points every now and again really, really helps him. So we do need to start Julian Palmer to get some good races to get into the points. But that is it for today's Austrian Grand Prix. Let's head back to the menus. So here we go, looking at the rivalry update against Felipe Massa after today's race. We were losing a considerable amount after the Azerbaijan Grand Prix, but we have absolutely smashed him in today's race. And we're now up to 17 to 20 in the rivalry battle. We absolutely smashed him, getting every single one of those ticks.
Hey, what could this be? Could it be a promotion to first driver? I think it might be. You read the details. You've earned it.
About time. I mean, we've got 2 podiums in this season. We are absolutely smashing Julian Palmer in the standings and in the races. So I think that's about time we got a team promotion. I'm really, really grateful about it, though. Your performance on and off track has been exceptional. Senior management have decided to promote you to first driver. We expect exemplary performance from you, and in return, you will receive additional R&D resource points for every race. We look forward to our continual success. So fantastic news. We're going to get more R&D points as well, which will really help us as the season goes on, because now we're getting to the stage where the R&D components are starting to cost us a little bit more. So R&D updates are going to be slightly further apart. We could at the moment upgrade our drag, but heading into Britain, Germany and Hungary, I think we want to go for more downforce and improve the movement on the car around corners. So we're going to improve either chassis weight or downforce at the next Grand Prix in Britain, which we should get enough points. I mean, chassis weight is only 700, so we only need another 42 points to get that, and downforce is 675. So we should be able to get both of those very, very soon, and then we might start to think about the engine once again later on in the season. But that is it for today's Austrian Grand Prix. It's been a fantastic result for us, getting our 2nd podium in a row in this race. Very, very lucky to get that, and I mean, great strategy at the end of the day as well. What can I say about this race? It was just absolutely fantastic. But if you have enjoyed it, don't forget to smash that like button. Also subscribe to my channel if you are new around here. We've had so much Formula 1 content over this whole entire week, and that's going to continue throughout the weekend as well. We've also had this career mode coming to you every single day. Okay, yeah, we did miss yesterday, but I made up for it with 2 episodes up today, which is fantastic, and we will have another one. We will have the British Grand Prix tomorrow as well. So if you do want to see that, don't forget to click that subscribe button, and you never have to miss an episode from me. But that is it for today's race. I will see you next time at the British Grand Prix. Until then, though, it's goodbye from me.